During this tragic week of the earthquake in Haiti, we've seen, though, just how powerful social media has been in disseminating information instantly and faster than most media organizations. Now, joining me now to discuss the role that social media, Twitter and Facebook and various other iterations have been, the role this has played in getting information out and helping Haiti. I'm joined in studio by CBC's online journalist Katie O'Malley, and in Toronto by Juliette Powell, who blogs for HuffingtonPost.com and her own website, JuliettePowell.com. Good to see both of you. Katie, let me start with you. Obviously, this has been an extraordinary example of when communications went down, phone lines went down, mainstream media certainly wasn't there. For the first 24 hours, it was almost like nothing came out, but things started to emerge on Twitter. And we've got some pictures, and if we, Jerry, if you can bring it. Now, these are the first images that started to emerge out of Port-au-Prince. What role has this played?
Well, I think that the technology, the Twitter technology, hasn't really changed that much in the last couple of years, but the awareness of it has, which means that people are more likely, when they're in a situation where their only access to the outside world is in fact sort of using Twitter in a text way, they're more likely to say upload a picture. People know it's there, and the media, and this is crucial, the media knows to look there, which is why we all start to sort of scour the the Twitter feeds of people who do seem to be on the ground and looking for those links so that we can get those pictures out to a larger audience. And I think that that's been quite remarkable, and that's really a result of people being more aware of kind of the potential that's there. It's so simple yet so powerful.
Right, and it's even played a role not just in getting information out, but in some rescues. It's been an extraordinary. What have you seen the effect on how we've seen this and what's happened on the ground, Juliette?
It's been absolutely fascinating to see how many people have not only been able to self-organize using tools like Twitter, but also be able to find information that's pertinent and needed immediately. In other words, if you do go on Twitter and you use the hashtag Haiti or First Aid, you can find how to create a splint if you absolutely need one, so that the information is passed on from person to person. How, if you want to donate, even if you've only got $5, and you're following singer-songwriter Wyclef Jean, for example, he explains very, very step-by-step and in simple terms how people can get involved. There's a lot of opportunity using digital media, especially via Twitter, to be able to peer produce and create your own content, so that many people that do have access to technology that we take for granted, like smartphones that have camera capabilities or even texting information, can help people get self-organized and distribute messaging far more effectively and quickly than through any other medium. And of course, mainstream media is looking towards that immediate technology and immediate response from people to be able to report the news. In fact, in contrast of what we're seeing online coming from people that are actually on the ground in Haiti vis-a-vis what we're watching in traditional television, for example, or radio. In radio and television, you get the sense that many of the reporters are trying to fill time based on the images that were captured and distributed all over the world several hours ago, whereas online it's a live and direct feel. This is what's happening right now. And of course, this is something that we also experienced in Iran during the election, where again you had citizen journalists that never would have considered themselves that way, who for the first time had the opportunity to tell their own stories in their own voice.
And as Juliette talks about that real time, there's some extraordinary Twitter postings, and you've been following some of them, and some of them also these rescues. This notion that, have you seen my grandmother? Here's her picture, or here's her book, and then someone else gets back, and you've seen this almost this electronic bulletin board that has rescue.
Yeah,
and it's been incredible.
Like it is. It's like a global bulletin board. I just want to say, in terms of the media, I've personally been riveted, and obviously because I have a personal connection. One of my friends, one of all of our friends here in the gallery, Joanna Smith, she writes for the Toronto Star. She's actually down there right now. She actually crossed into Haiti last night and sort of texted away. She uses Twitter, but she basically sends text messages to kind of keep people up to date on what she's seeing. And it's just it's riveting, the kind of stuff she's talking about. She's using to file as well back to her back to her paper. So she's definitely not relying on old pictures. She's right there, and her friends and readers and people can kind of follow along minute by minute.
And it's very real time. And just one more thing with you, Katie. Juliette's talking about the donations, and Juliette mentions Wyclef Jean, the great singer from the Fugees, who has raised an extraordinary tens. I don't know what he's personally raised, but millions of dollars. Of course, he's Haitian. He went very quickly using Twitter. But it's been interesting, but it's very interesting because you can't, there's been some politics about donating, Katie, here in Canada.
There has, well, it's more a technical issue. That's the thing. People assume that when they see a Twitter, a tweet go out, that it applies across the world. Well, that's not always true. For example, Canadian cell phone carriers, may not. Actually, I think now they are delivering SMS, but at first they weren't. So there was a lot of confusion where people were kind of wondering what exactly is it that, is the money we're trying to donate get through. So it's definitely best to make sure that when a non-Canadian source is sort of looking for funds, that's great, but just make sure that they're able to accept it from Canadians as well.
That's right.
And don't get lost in the
I
shuffle.
just want to show you, as you got Juliette, last night, I want to show you this a photo posted by a Twitter user who's looking for her grandfather. And you can see this, and the message says, "Have you seen my grandfather? He was visiting Haiti when the earthquake hit. Please contact me with any info." Juliette, this tragedy has exposed something else, that the huge wave of support that's coming in from the governments, but there's also almost an equally powerful wave from the ground, right?
In fact, I would say that the movement and mobilization that we're seeing from the ground in many ways surpasses anything that the government can do, simply because it's not based on geography, it's not based on borders, it's based on this commonality of being human, of being affected by others. And because of the technology and the ease of which the stories are getting out, people are being touched and wanting to help, looking for ways that they can do so, whether it's recognizing someone's family member or maybe somebody who's sitting at home but knows something about first aid that can start tweeting about that. This really is an opportunity to be able to participate, not just give money or throw money at something, but also share stories. And again, that human connection to me is at the center of all of this technology and technological connection.
Juliette Powell, Katie O'Malley, thanks a lot. Obviously, extraordinary events unfolding, and as you say, unfolding in a very unique way through social media. Now, normally I would ask both of you to give us your sites of the week, but instead of doing that this week, we want to do something a little different. We want you to go to cbc.ca/Haiti Missing. There we've posted a gallery for people to post pictures of missing loved ones, and we've been talking about that. And the other thing we'd like to do is you can go to our site also and find out where you can help. And I think that cbc.ca/politics, you can click on the button there that says how you can help. And of course, we'd urge you to if you want to make a donation at all, to follow it. It's all very clearly laid out. We'll be back after this with lots more of Power and Politics. Stay with us.